strangest things that happened recently on that podcast with Meghan Markle and Jamie was the fact that, she'd got a letter. And as I said at the time, I found this really odd, if I'm honest, chums, because it's not as if she disappeared for years on end, is it? And then suddenly returned back to be part of their life. She was just popping out to do a podcast interview, but taking no chances to smooth the ego of, some people suggest, the narcissist that is Meghan Markle. Jamie lost no control in making sure that she piled on that literally butter-worthy sort of, you're terrific, you're fabulous. And just to prove it, here's a letter, penned, of course, by your husband, Prince Harry, that I'm now going to read out on behalf of your two children. I found this incredible in the sense of that I couldn't understand if they were teenagers or, whatever, but to do this at this point really, I think, was any credibility they may have had, dare I say, might have gone out the window. But things are getting worse behind the scenes. As ever, let me explain. Chums, nice to see you today. Thank you so much for your time. When you talk about, sir, we'll have a nice wave. How are you? Are you all right? I'm not bad, thanks. It's still very humid here in London. We've had, I just love this, don't you? The first day of May, and all the telly channels are coming out saying, oh, it's the hottest May ever recorded. And you think, right, just in a certain area, I think it was Kew Gardens, nothing. They just terrify you, don't they? It's called summer. And when I was standing here in the winter with a coat on and a scarf and everything, and you were all telling me off, and rightly so, where's your hat, Neil, and all that sort of stuff. But that was winter, and that is called the seasons. But if you listen to the mainstream news, you'd frighten yourself to death, wouldn't you? You think, oh, the world's ending because it suddenly got so hot on the 1st of May. Yes. Now, some people might say things are hotting up between Meghan and Harry because once again, on a very pivotal date, as it were, once again, Prince Harry's not going to be, we think, for the whole day, at least in the vicinity of his eldest child, Prince Archie. Now, what's interesting about this is he's zipping off to Las Vegas, and many people have made those, comments about the Las Vegas of 2012. And I remember covering that. Can't believe how long ago that is, of course. But now he's a different chap. He's a father of two. He's married, and going into a very different world. But what's fascinating is, as I said in the intro of this video, there we have a letter that he's allegedly written, gushing on camera about what a terrific mom and support and wife and everything Meghan is. And when there was an opportunity for basically Meghan to stand and support her husband, and let's not forget, she dumps him when it doesn't really suit her. The Legends of Aviation Awards, she didn't want to go to that. It's not about her. She couldn't be focused enough. Was never going to be central to what she was selling, which is herself, and then secondly, a brand. So the Diana Award, the latest incentive, the new award that they've come up with, which is being held out in Las Vegas, as I said, you would have thought, given her strong connection to the fact that she gushed endlessly on the Drew Barrymore show about that picture with Drew and the late Diana, she might have wanted to, claw back a few brownie points. No. According to the sources out there, they were willing to move the dates around. That wasn't a problem. And then on top of that, yes, there was an invite for the wife too. Now, apparently, Meghan can't go because she doesn't want to leave the children. Well, this is a farce in itself because clearly she left the children to zip off to Broadway. That wasn't a definitive date, was it? She zipped off, of course, for the Drew Barrymore show. Someone can only surmise that actually, and this is what I've been told from a person who works there, they do enjoy their periods apart. And cast your mind back to when Harry was, whatever he says, taking out rooms for some me time by playing games in nearby hotels. It must be very difficult when you're in a very fraught relationship. There you have two people, not really much to do, clearly, and then despite what Meghan says, being a very busy mum, etc., when she has the opportunity to go out and support her husband, let's not forget she doesn't want to come back to the United Kingdom, but still the Aviation Awards, a chance to put on a frock, sit there with real celebrities like Kurt Russell, Morgan Freeman, John Travolta. No, because she can't get on the stage. If she can't speak and clutch the mic, then it's not about her. And truly, the reason why I've been told this is, they only want Harry to speak. It's not about Harry and Meghan, it's about Diana's son. And for once, Meghan is basically saying, you're on your own then. Now, Harry, at this point, has to be said, has not kicked back. You know, maybe he's just thrilled to get a bit of time on his own. But as a source pointed out to me, in their marriage right now, there are long periods where they are apart, whatever people think. He disappears off, she disappears off. And about this being a loving, romantic, gushing story, well, everything's not what it's cracked up to be. And apparently Harry is absolutely delighted to be getting some time away, whatever Meghan may force him to read out on a podcast. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.